Welcome back to the video lecture series on optics and spectroscopy. In today's lecture, we will discuss about the concept of diffraction, how the diffraction grating is made, then what is the condition for the bright spot to occur in diffraction grating. Then we will see how using a diffraction grating or transmission grating, how to calculate the wavelength of the given light source. So these are the three topics that we are going to discuss today. Come on. Diffraction. Diffraction is a phenomenon. It happens in light. It involves a light source, a screen, and an object, right? See, suppose we are having a light source. If this light source is illuminated and we are placing a screen here. So this is the screen. If a light source is illuminated, there is no obstacles in between light sources and the screen. So all the light coming from this light source will fall on the screen. So screen will be illuminated clearly. Assume that it is a white screen. Suppose if an opaque object is placed with a stand in between the screen and the light source, what will happen? This screen would produce the shadow of this opaque object will be produced on the screen, right? So this implies that light wave travels straight. It implies that light wave travels straight. But this is one case. It's not true always. Suppose if you are placing a very small object, assume this is a larger object. Suppose if you are placing a very small object like, let us place a stick, a very small stick in between screen and source. Now, we would not have a dark shade of the screen, dark shade of this stick on screen. Rather, we could have no shadow on the screen, or a shadow of low darkness will be appeared on screen. Let me repeat. When we place a very small thickness stick in between screen and source, now in the screen we won't get the dark image of the screen. Rather, we will be getting a less darkness image or no image appearing on the screen. No image of the stick will be appearing on the screen. This is the case. What does it mean? It means that light bends in the boundaries of the stick. Light bends in the boundaries of the stick. So it travels straight, and at the edges it bends, and again it travels to hit the screen. When it happens, so light bends. When it happens, when the size of the object is comparable with wavelength of the light. wavelength of the light. When the size of the screen, that is the thickness of the screen, is comparable with the wavelength of the light source, then the bending of light may happen. Now, so we can define, so in that condition the light is deviating from its property of straight line traveling or straight line propagation. Okay, now see this phenomenon, that is this phenomenon of bending of light waves around the corners of the interfering object, and they are spreading into the geometrical shadow, is called diffraction, right? So what is diffraction? Diffraction is bending of light around the corners of the corners of the object and the spread of light into the geometrical shadow of the objects is called diffraction. Bending of light around the corners of the object and they're spreading into the geometrical shadows of the object is called diffraction. Fine. Now, with this phenomenon, let's have plane transmission diffraction grating. Plane transmission diffraction grating. What is that? It's nothing but arrangement of large number of parallel slits with equal width separated by equal distance. Opaque space is called diffraction grating. What is diffraction grating? Let me tell you again. It is an arrangement consisting of large number of transparent slits of equal widths which are having constant opaque spaces between one another. By saying statement, you may not getting my point. Instead, let me draw a diagram. Right? It is nothing but a grating will look like a rectangular piece of material, rectangular piece of sheet, right? Thick sheet, little, it's like a glass plate. Now we have, okay, assume this. Now let us assume that these white spaces are all, these white spaces are all opaque for light. So if you pass the light through white space, it will bounce back, or it will not penetrate into this material. So these spaces, these dark spaces are gratings, slits. So these are the slits. So these are the slits of same width. All the slit width are same, right? My geometrical drawing may not be looks like that, but assume that all these widths are same, right? So the slits having same width and separated by equal distance. See, the thickness of each white spaces are same, and these white spaces are opaque spaces. Assume that this is opaque space, right? Then this setup is called diffraction grating. This setup is called diffraction grating. Fine. How to obtain this? How to obtain this? How to construct this? How to construct a diffraction grating? It's very simple. It's very simple. By taking a glass plate like this, by taking a transparent glass plate like this, okay, it's a plain glass plate. Considering a transparent plain glass plate and making an equidistance lines, that is making a ruling, a parallel lines we can draw. These parallel lines can be drawn using diamond pointer. Using a diamond pointer, there is an equidistance, narrow, sharp lines are drawn. These lines, right? These lines are rulings. These lines or rulings will serve as a opaque material, opaque part of this grating, right? The entire piece of material is a plain glass mirror. It is nothing but plain glass plate. It is nothing but plain, not mirror, plain glass plate. This plain glass plate is graded with a diamond pointer so that all these rulings or lines are serve as a opaque part, and the spaces in between that are transparent, right? Now these opaque lines, the lines are a ruling which are opaque are called opacities. It is called opacities. And the transparent spaces between the rulings, transparent spaces between the rulings are called transparencies. Okay, such setup is called diffraction grating or transmission grating. It is said to be diffraction grating or transmission grating. Fine. Now let's apply the concept of diffraction in this plane transmission grating and obtain the equation for maximum intensity of light occurs on other side. For that, let us draw the diffraction grating like this. Assume that this is diffraction grating. Okay, in this open spaces are transparencies. Assume that these open spaces are transparencies. We are placing in diffraction grating so that light comes from this direction. Okay, light comes from this direction. and the grating is placed perpendicular to the direction of the light. Okay, light is traveled in this direction and this plane mirror is placed in this direction. It is perpendicular to the direction of the light waves. Fine. Now let this grating as xy, and here these points, let's say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. This spaces A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. These are transparent spaces or transparencies, or it is simply called slits. Now, the width of this slit is A, right? That is the width of slit, that is AB, which is equal to A. Okay, and width of this opaque portion is, so opaque portion is B. Okay, width of the opaque portion is B. Now this A plus B, which is called grating element, or it is called grating constant. That is one portion of opaque space and one portion of transparent space. Sum of these two widths is equal to the grating element or grating constant. And the points, the center points, you can say the points in between the transparencies are equally spaced. These points are called corresponding points. These points are called corresponding points. Now the light ray traveling into these transparent spaces will be travel straight line. So most of the light rays will be travel straight. But if this width of the transparencies is comparable to the wavelength of the incoming light ray, then we could expect some of the light rays to deviate from its straight line path, so that from its edges, so that it travels out of straight line. Okay, so we will consider the cases. So we are putting the telescope here, we are putting traveling microscope. So telescope portion will be in front side, eyepiece in the back side. We are moving the telescope from top to bottom, up and down. And what we could notice, if we place a mirror here, now all the light rays, right? Okay, so this is the optical, you can say this is the principal axis for the mirror optical center, principal axis P. Now if you move the telescope, as I said earlier, most of the light ray traveling straight, what would happen? So light ray, here all the lights traveling straight line like this, right? Straight line like this, and it is focused, and it will be focused to point P. So at point B, case 1, at P, there is a central bright spot will be occur. There will be a central bright spot will be occurred. Okay, as the most of the light rays are traveling straight. Fine. Second case, as we said, this width of these openings are comparable with the wavelength of the light. Now this light ray will also deviate out of the straight line. It will travel in all directions. As the light rays are traveling in all directions, it will undergo diffraction. Now see, one set of diffracted light waves can be observed at this point. How it will occur? Let's see. Let's assume that the light rays are deviating, the light rays are deviating at an angle theta, at an angle theta to the principal axis, at an angle to the principal axis, at an angle theta to the straight line direction of the light, or at an angle theta to the principal axis of the lens. Okay, and fine. Now all these light rays will be focused to P1. Okay, all these light rays are focused to P1. Now when the light ray travels on straight line and it is focused at P, all the light rays will be coming in phase. There will be no phase difference when the light rays are traveling straight and it is focused by the lens to the point P. Fine. But if the light ray deviates from the straight line path, then it may not be, it will have some path difference, so that there will be some phase difference as well. When there is a path difference, then there will be a phase difference. Fine. So if this is the angle of deviation from the straight line traveling, it is theta, right? Fine. Now let's draw AK. That is, let's draw a normal line from the direction of this deviating lights. Assume we have drawn a condition that all the light rays are traveling not in the direction, not in the straight line direction, but it is deviated with the constant angle theta. If you consider angle and from all edges, the light rays are deviating with the constant angle theta. That is one case that we have considered. Now if you draw the normal to this light, the path of the deviating light way, diffracted light way, so we can draw this, we can draw that, right? This is the normal to every light ray. Okay, now we can draw this, so let us consider one grating element ABC. Let's draw a straight line. Okay, here let us write MN. M is this point, N is the point here. Okay, M and N. M is the point here. Now see, we can take this triangle out. It is look like this. This is A, this is C, so there is an opening here, it's B. Okay, and this A, you can say M, or let it be A, and there is a point N here, so this is a point N. Now here, this angle theta, similarly this angle also be theta, this angle also be theta. Now we can write using this diagram, we can write sin theta. So as theta is here, sin theta equal to Cn by AB. Then we can write Cn equal to AB sin theta. Okay, if Cn equal to AB sin theta, then in case 2 we can write Cn equal to AB sin theta. But what is AB? AB is nothing but A plus B, right? This not AB, it is AC here, AC. What AC? AC is nothing but AB plus BC, so that A plus B sin theta, which is equal to Cn. Okay, now if this Cn is nothing but path difference here, Cn is nothing but path difference, Cn is nothing but path difference. If this path difference Cn, that is A plus B sin theta, which is equal to m lambda, right? If this satisfies m lambda, then we can expect bright spot. Then we can expect bright spot where m runs from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. That is a plus b sin theta is the integer multiple of lambda. The lambda is the wavelength of the incoming light ray. In that conditions, wherever here from P2 towards P1 point, wherever this condition satisfies, there we can expect bright spot. In all other cases, the spot will be dark or less bright. Now, this m could be plus or minus, right? When compared with the principal axis, if you are going upwards, plus m, if you are going downwards, minus m, right? Fine. Here, this m is, in this case, this m is called the order of the interference maximum. The order of the interference maximum. That is, here if we obtain one bright spot, then it is called the first order bright spot. Another second bright spot will be second order bright spot. Third will be third order bright spot. Likewise, we can explain. So this is how you can get a bright and dark consecutive lines, observation, bright and dark spots in the opposite side of the grating material. Okay, so with this theory and with this equation, one can able to calculate the wavelength lambda of the incoming light ray using this transmission grating. How to calculate that? It is a simple experiment that we will discuss in the second part, or next part of this lecture. Determination of wavelength of light using plane transmission diffraction grating. What is the principle? The principle is nothing but what we have discussed little earlier. If the angle of the diffraction of the light wave is light wave of wavelength lambda is theta. If the angle of diffraction is theta, okay, then for the mth order bright spot, we can write a plus b sin theta equal to m lambda. Here a plus b is the grating constant. If the grating constant is known, then lambda can be calculated using the formula a plus b sin theta by m by doing a simple experiment using grating and spectrometer. First one is, so determination of grating element. Determination of grating element. How to calculate the value of grating constant? Generally, in every grating, when you look into the grating, in the top of the gratings, there are certain parameters will be given. In the manufacturer itself, they have given. What it will be given, that is the number of lines per inch will be given. And what is grating constant? Grating constant is the summation of the width of the transparent space and opaque space, that is a plus b. Okay, so if you want a plus b, what do you have to write? 1 inch divided by number of lines. Okay, you have to divide number of lines from 1 inch. So 1 inch is nothing but 2.54 centimeter, or you can say 2.54 into 10 power minus 2 meter, or you can write 0.0254 meter, so that you can calculate the grating constant using this formula, that is 0.0254 divided by number of lines. Number of lines will be given in the grating itself by the manufacturer. In this way you can determine the grating constant. Fine. Second thing, so grating constant AB is known. Second thing, we need to calculate the angle of diffraction theta. How to calculate the angle of diffraction theta? For that, let us take a spectrometer, and in spectrometer the light ray whose wavelength to be calculated coming through collimator, right? Then the prism table is here, prism table is here. Now case 1, right? Case 1, this is collimator, it is telescope. Case 1, take the straight line, right? Let's have the straight line observation of the incoming light ray. You make all the adjustments in the spectrometer to do this experiment. You calibrate the collimator, telescope, everything, and you find the fine slit of light by making the collimator and telescope straight line. Okay, so that you can take the direct reading of the telescope. And second thing, step 2. Step 2, you rotate the telescope 90 degree to the collimator and fix it. The angle between this is 90 degree. Okay. And step 3, this is step 2. And step 3, you place so this is collimator, this is telescope. You place the grating here. You mount the grating over there, right? You mount the grating over the prism table and rotate the transmission grating in such a way that this incoming light ray getting reflected and this reflected light ray is observed in the slit. The line is observed at the cross wire. Lines coincides with the cross wire. Okay, fine. Now note this reading. This is step 3. And step 4, right? From this position, we can rotate the prism table to 45 degree angle. If we rotate, right, assume that earlier, so this collimator and telescope is on 90 degree, so that at what condition the incoming light ray will coincide with the crosswire of the telescope? If the prism table is placed in such a way that the incoming light ray have the angle 45 degree to the normal of the position of the grating, so that the angle of reflection will also so that the angle of incidence will be 45 degree, so the angle of reflection will be 45 degree, so that incoming light ray getting deviated for the angle of 90 degree and it will be observed in the cross wires of the telescope. If this is the case, it implies that this angle, okay, this angle of the prism is 45 degree. So angle of the grating is 45 degree inclined to 45 degree inclined to the collimator or the incoming light source. Now if you rotate another 45 degree, these gratings will be exactly normal to the incoming light ray. The grating is placed exactly normal to the incoming light ray. Now we can Now we can move the telescope from this position to straight line position. And if we are moving in this direction, we will get the diffractor light ray. You can also get a central bright line when you are placing direct, when you are looking the direct light. And if you are moving from direct view to right side, we will be getting the diffractor light ray. So first bright spot will be the first order light, first order spot, and second bright spot will be second order light, that is second order maxima, and third will be third order maxima. The similar kind of observation one can make by moving the telescope on the left side direction as well. So left side direction also we can get the first order maxima, second order maxima, and third order maxima likewise. Now the angle between the first order maxima and the direct view is the angle of deviation on either side. On either side you can observe this. So this is the angle of deviation or diffraction angle for order 1, m equal to 1. This is the theta 1 for m equal to 1. Similarly, one can observe theta 2 for m equal to 2 on either side. Okay, theta 2. Theta 2 for entire distance. Okay, fine. So in this way, we can able to calculate theta. So for this, we can draw the table order, color, Vernier reading. In the Vernier reading in the spectrometer, there will be two Vernier readings, left and right. So Vernier reading left, Vernier reading right. Okay, and that will yield you the difference between left and right will yield you 2 theta. You can write theta from this. Okay, so for different orders, this table can be written for left scanning or right side scanning. Okay, so here you can put the order 1 and 2. For first order, if you are using monochromatic light, then there will be single color. If you are using a white light, then there will be different color. So for which the first order, for which color you are considering. So that's why we are giving color here. Then Vernier scale reading left side, right side, the difference will be give you 2 theta. Then you can calculate theta from that. Applying value of theta, and this theta is calculated for which order of the light, diffracted light, and for grating constant. If we know all this, by substituting all this into the equation a plus b sin theta by m, we can calculate the wavelength of monochromatic light source or wavelength of the particular color of an white light if it is given. So this is how we can able to calculate the wavelength of a light source using the plane transmission grating. It is a simple spectrometer experiment. So with this, let's stop here. So with this, unit number 2 is coming to end. You are requested to go through this lecture completely once again if you want. If you have any doubts, you can ask me in the comment box. I am here to explain it in detail. Thank you for watching. See you again.